So number one mistake that we are going to be looking at is the ignoring of dimensioning rules. For you that are watching this video, this is going to be the last time you are going to be making that mistake, because we are going to be taking this particular isometric block into consideration. So I'm going to take this place as the first as the front view, which I'm going to be making use to explain dimensioning. All right. Note, this is not actually drawn to scale. Okay, this is not drawn to scale. So I'll just dimension it anyhow, just to explain the way dimensioning is. All right. So we have two types of dimensioning. Number one, we have the aligned. We have the aligned dimensioning, and number two, we have the unidirectional dimensioning. Okay, we have the unidirectional dimensioning. So this particular type of dimensioning, let's say we have this is our block, all right? So when we want to label this, that is, we want to dimension it, sorry, this is the way unidirectional dimensioning is. You label, dimension this as 10, okay? Then let's say this is 20. You dimension this as 20. Okay, so this is the exact way unidirectional dimensioning is. That is, the dimensioning is going to be what? At the center, okay? And it is always what? Horizontal. But we what of aligned? Let's take a look at the way aligned is. Okay, so for aligned, we are going to have something like this, of this nature. This is 20, and we are going to have something like this. This is what? This is 10. Okay, the most common one that is mostly used is the aligned one. All right, is the aligned one that is mostly used, and it is also divided into two, which is, it is divided into more than two, but the main two which it is divided into is the parallel. Okay, parallel aligned dimensioning, and we have what? The second one as chain. Okay, so for the parallel, let's take this also into consideration again. This is our front view which we have here. So for the parallel, we have something like this. This will be 10. This is 10. Okay, it's going to be in this nature. Then for us to mark our 20, we have it like this again, as what? 20. Let's assume the total length of this place is what? 20 millimeter. So this is the way parallel is. Why we have our chain, okay, to be like this. Note, this is not drawn to scale. So you just, so this is 10 and 10. This is 20 and 10. So this is the way parallel aligned dimensioning is, and this is the way chain aligned dimensioning is. All right. So one thing you must take note of why dimensioning is that you must use one single type of dimensioning throughout the whole drawing, not to make your work rough. If you are going to be making use of the parallel aligned dimensioning method, make use of parallel aligned dimensioning method. If you are going to be making use of unidirectional, make use of unidirectional throughout. All right. So you just discover the one that make whichever drawing you have been given to be neater, and you make use of that. So the second case is, whenever you are dimensioning, you must allow your dimensioning to be very, very clear, in the sense that this particular block we have been given, anybody that must be recreating it, let's assume your instructor wants to recreate the drawing, all right, the dimensioning must be enough for him to be able to recreate that particular type of drawing which you have been given. Take for instance now, the dimensioning in this one is actually not enough. Okay, we still need to dimension this place as what? As 20. Okay, we still need to dimension this place as 20. After dimensioning this place as 20, we still need to dimension this place as what? As 10. So this dimensioning now is already enough. Okay, it's already enough now for somebody to be able to recreate this drawing. But in a situation whereby your dimensioning is not enough, there is no how they can be able to recreate the drawing, and you are going to also miss dimensioning mark, which is like -2 or -3, and the marks are already going. That's the meaning. Okay, so that's that for number one. The number two mistake most students make is actually the wrong use of scale while drawing. Like, it's very, very common, most especially in architectural drawings, but this is technical drawing we are going to be talking about. It's also common in technical drawing also. Let's take for instance, we are given this particular drawing to reproduce it, and we are asked to use the scale of 1:1. Okay, scale of 1:1 simply means you are drawing with the exact dimension they gave to you. That is, this place is going to still be 10, this place is going to still be 10, this place is going to be 20. All right, so that is the meaning. But when they ask you to use scale of 1:2, that means you are reducing it to half the size. All right, we are reducing it to half the size. That means this particular place that is 10 is going to become 5. This place that is 20 is going to become 10 millimeter. All right, that is the meaning. When they say 2:1, that means you have to enlarge it. Okay, that's twice the size. So the way this place is 20, it becomes 40. But oftentimes I see students just use whichever scale they like without even checking the instruction and all the likes, which is part of what usually make students fail at times in engineering drawing, because that is going to drop a lot of your mark. Okay, so the number 3 mistake I see most students make is the wrong use of line, or let me say poor quality of line. All right, so as an engineering student or technical student doing technical drawing, you need to know when to use thick line or thin line, or you need to know the different types of line we have, their uses also. You should know that dimensioning lines are always having arrow at the edge. You wouldn't be using dimensioning lines for thin center line. Most students don't often know when to use thick line, and most don't often know when to use thin line, which is always what usually cause reduction of mark. So please take note of that. Don't make that mistake. If you want me to drop a complete video on types of line and their uses and how you can use them in different aspects of engineering, just drop a comment for me in the comment section. As soon as the comment reaches 10, I'm going to be making a video on that. The number 4 mistake I see most students make is not actually labeling their drawing. Like, most of the time that happen due to rushing, like, oh, submit your work, and then you forget to label your drawing. But no matter how great your drawing is, if you don't label it, like, some, even if the instructor or lecturer knows what they are drawing, you will just feel like, oh, I don't know, since there's no label there, what the hell is this person drawing, this so kind of thing. And then it might even end up getting you a zero of all the drawing. Take for instance now, we have this as our front view. We are definitely going to have our plan as something like this, and then our side view. Okay, our plan and side view, yeah, as something like this for this particular orthographic drawing. You definitely need to label this place as front view. All right, then you label this place as your plan. Okay, then you label this place as your side view. Okay, this is actually the left side view. Okay, because if you don't label it like that, it is tantamount to like zero. And also, while labeling, you have to make sure that your annotation is like, is very, your lettering, sorry, your lettering is very perfect. Okay, so once you are labeling, let's assume you are labeling third angle projection. You letter first before you make sure you draw, like, you make your writings. All right, so same thing goes to this also. If you are given a drawing like this, isometric drawing, you are going to do a little bit of lettering. Okay, then you make your isometric. Okay, so that's also necessary. It is the last but not the least, which is number 5 mistake most students make, all right, is not following instruction. I once wrote an engineering drawing exam where we were given to draw orthographic projection. All right, we are given to draw orthographic projection in third angle. Yeah, in third angle. But most of the time, third angle is not really common. Most of the time, it's first angle, first angle, first angle, first angle. So majority of the students did not even look at it like that. It was meant to be third angle. Many students just went on, moved to first angle projection, first angle projection. Like, you were just drawing first angle projection. In By the time they will realize upon the ending, time was already up. Like, that kind of mistake, not following instruction, not taking your time to read the instruction. The solution to that is just to, immediately you are giving your exam question, first of all, take your time, take about 2 to 5 minutes of your time, read the instruction very carefully. By reading the instruction, you are going to get the scale and everything that you are going to be making use of in your drawing. So you are not going to have to be erasing or drawing back. So imagine you're given to draw the third angle projection of this now. Definitely you know that the plan, all right, is going to be up, that is above the front view. Okay, and you know that if you are given the first angle projection, the plan is going to be beneath the front view. Just imagine you drew it the other way around. What This is the third angle, this is the plan here. All right, so this is the third angle and this is the first angle. So this is the plan here. So just imagine you drew it the other way around. What do you expect the lecturer to give you? Virtually nothing, because you did not follow what he asked you to draw. You drew exactly a different thing from what he asked you to draw. So that's the main reason why most students fail. All right, if you can avoid these mistakes, these 5 mistakes, it is going to move your drawing from zero to hero. Yeah, let me tell you, let me make use of that. You're going to move from an average student to an excellent student. I can assure you that. If you found this video helpful, kindly smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to always be the first to get any more educational video I'm going to be dropping on this channel. Peace.